from both states a sealed document saying the IRS is not authorized to do any business in this state.
All right, now, this is going to send some head spinning, and I understand that. I know there's some wars that are very hard to win, but I want to ask you as we leave the situation for at least this time, and let's be frank, I mean, and you've always been like that, so there's no problem here. I take a look at what's happening now, and I'll just tell you today, Lady Biz and I were biking, and I looked at her, and because I've gotten, some information. I'm sure you've gotten it too about what's going on globally. Now, I'll just say the statement, and you deal with it the way you want to. Strike me down, that's fine. I don't care. The people need to listen to the truth. And I just said to her, look, this financial situation with this supposed coming global depression is what I would consider the very first blunt stroke by the New World Order. The game has been joined. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, because what it is it wasn't over here. It wasn't the mortgages and all this, loans.
It couldn't bring down the economy.
No, it couldn't bring down the whole world. It is the Federal Reserve that is through the IMF, which is the UN, was created by the UN, and they, because you look in those, in the books on ATG Press, on the Geneva Convention, It talks about the IRS in every country. Every country has an IRS, and they call it IRS. It's under the auspices of the governor of the International Monetary Fund, who is running this country and running every other country, and they got greedy and with their unjust weight, which is against natural law and the Bible, and even against the law of nations, which they didn't police themselves. They have squandered so much money internationally that this is what's causing all the chaos across the globe.
So what we are seeing right now, although it's being told to us, that it's the give and take, the Sturm and Drang, the yin and yang of the global economic system. All right, I'll couch this my way, and of course you can tell me I'm wrong. But what I said to Lady Viz today when we were out cycling, and I'm like, no, this is all all of a sudden now China's going down. The bankers, as an extension of the NWO, is now starting to make its move.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and they're doing this because they realize that they have put themselves in a destitute situation that they themselves can't even get out of it now. In other words, they played the market, they played the countries too much, and made the loans and everything where they shouldn't have. And of course, they drug every country into it because every country is a member of it. And it's not just the United States. It's or America. It's global because, like I said, they played with the money so much because they could make so much more, and now it's backfired on them, and even they can't stop it.
All right. On an outgoing note, I'll say this, and a lot of folks out there understand about the NWO. They understand the shape of things to come. They're not Christians, and again, it's a word you kind of don't want to use because
it upsets them. But they are not really Christians. A Christian doesn't carry unjust weights around in his pocket.
No, but the thing is, as you understand as I do, it's not a question of superiority or anything like that. The thing is that you know he lives. I'm sorry, but you know he lives. But the thing is, this is foretold. This is what's coming down. Yeah. Be that as it may, folks may not want to buy into it or whatever. But I guess for this time, for this segment we did, to instruct people as to what they could do, whether or not they believe on him or not. Right. And that is what? Be a little more self-sufficient.
That they would have to, because they can't pray to him because he said, you choose me or Mammon. If you choose Mammon, don't come crying to me, don't pray to me, because I can't help you. You live with what you wanted from your king, because I'm no longer your king. That's bottom line. Hey, there is no Christians in this world.
But also, you answered something that I didn't even ask, and that is, this whole idea when Christians get all crazy about, defending Israel and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, these nations were not drawn up by the Lord. The Lord stepped back and said, all right, do what you want to do.
That's right.
This is about mercantilism, and it's about nation building for the purpose of making new markets.
That's why he kicked the bankers out of the temple, didn't he?
And what happened to him 3 days after?
Yeah, sedition and tax charges. And that's why Pontius Pilate washed his hands, because he refused to give jurisdiction to Caesar. So he was killed. So it's mobocracy. In law, Romans could not touch him because he didn't grant them jurisdiction, and Pontius Pilate was really amazed that this man would never consent to, just give the oath to Caesar and I'll protect you. And the Lord says, no.
He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it. So what did they do? The traditional way
sacrifice. Yep.
They washed their hands, and that's what they did. And he washed his hands so that he wouldn't have his blood on his hands, because the law couldn't touch him. So they turned him over to the mob, which is today's American ignorant person who doesn't want us to tell him that the Constitution is not his God and it ain't going to protect them, and yada, yada, yada. And we wrote that Constitution, and by golly, that's my Constitution, and I'm going to live by it. Well, they're living by it.
We've gone almost 2.5 hours, and I thank you, Iron Man, for going over. Folks, you've been, very communicative with the things that are in the chat room, and we're going to have more, without a doubt. But what we're telling you right now is that, all right, now, I'll give you a last shot on this. And like I said before, I looked at my wife and I said, the NWO isn't something off in the distance. It's not something here. We're talking about. It's here. It just kicked us in the balls. Excuse my phraseology.
I know.
But and now the game has been joined, is it not?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right. Again, before we go, can you tell folks how they can hit your website and the books and what kind of deal that might be if they're listening to the show?
Yeah, okay. If they write in and they put, what's your Grassy Knoll? Is that what you go by?
Grassy Knoll will do it.
If they order the book and put Grassy Knoll, write Grassy Knoll on the order,
somewhere,
letter, whatever.
Okay.
And they'll get Which One Are You for $45, The Big Lie for $45, and The New History for $25, and that includes shipping. The books are normally $58, $58, and $32.
All right.
That'll only last until February the 1st.
All right, that's cool. That's fine.
And I can't absorb any more loss.
No, that's okay. But let's hope let's hope you get hit like crazy. That would be great.
So yeah, that would be great. I have to go down to the printer and have them print some more, because I was selling so little that I had to make a deal with him that he wouldn't print any more books until I wanted them, and then it would be by special order.
Okay.
So if they order it and I don't have it, I'm going to have to go down to the printer and say, hey, print me up 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 books or however many, and they're just going to have to wait until he gets them printed, and then I can send them out. But they will go out.
We have some thank yous for you from the chat room. I appreciate that. It says thank you, Iron Man, and that's cool. And we'll be in touch, no doubt about it, with time to come. But listen, I never even asked you about this, and I'm not going to put you to the pillow right now. But, I don't know how long you were out there before I found you. Because, people like myself think, okay, I found you today, so that means, you never were around. But how long have you been doing this?
Well, I wrote the first book, Which One Are You, in 1990. I really started it as a letter to the government.
Okay.
But by the time I got done with it, it ended up to a 207-page book. And the woman that, she was an older woman. I think she's still alive now, and she's about 87 years old. And she told me, she says, you know what, why don't you, instead of making a letter and writing it to Congress, why don't you keep going and write a book on it? So that's what I did, and that was 1990. The very first little pamphlet I put out was in 1986.
All right. Folks, this is not the end of the matter, without a doubt, but we want to do something where, if folks wanted to, condense what was going on as best we could, and, of course, you cannot do it in 2 hours. You can't do it in 10 hours.
You can't do it in a year.
But the idea was to let people know that this is real, and also they can go ahead and they can find out, more about this in the unsexy, shall we say, archives that are the U.S. codes and the congressional record, where actually that is the story told about the U.S.
Yeah, the best place is go to their state archive building in the Capitol and go back to the old dates on it and specifically look for 1931, 1933, War Powers when it came into effect, and get the presidential papers or the governor's papers and read the governor's papers and then highlight what you want and go up to the archivist and tell him, I want you to pull these documents, and you got them all little tags, so he goes up to the page number and he knows right where to go to get them, and he brings them back to you. And then if you have to go further, go to the session laws of the Congress of that state.
All right, and I'm going to ask you this one more time because I see it all popping up, and I'm not going to answer it. I want you to. And that is, what are the prices for the books as it would pertain to this show?
The ones that I gave the discount on?
Yep.
Oh, they were $58 a piece, and I charge them now $45 and $58 and then $45, and the one New History was $32, and it's now $25.
All right, so they want to go for free.
And that includes the shipping. They can order one or two or three, whatever they want. You know, they don't have to order just because they're on sale. The other books are just as good, and they're smaller pamphlet books. And this one here, I don't know when it's going to come out.
Okay, and I mean, if it gets confusing, they can email you and you can work it out.
Yeah, and all the rest of the stuff is on ATG Press is free, because I could have made a book and charged $3, $4, $5, $6 or more for it, but I just wanted to put it on for free so they wouldn't have to pay for it.
Yep.
And it's there for the taking, and I'm finding out that, yeah, there's some hits on there, but they only go on for like 2 to 5 minutes, or even that. That's not enough to even read one article.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And, you know, I just get frustrated that people are going on there, they just look at it and don't even read the whole thing and try to comprehend what it says. And a lot of times that answers their questions that they might have.
Okay, I got one more question. And let me just say this. Be frustrated, but it's good that people are coming around. But I got a question here. It says, one more time, have him explain the money order. All right, I think I can do that.
Oh, on the U.S. Postal Money Order,
yeah.
When you get down, you'll have on the left-hand side, Pay To. On the other side, it'll say Sender. So you write in your name and your address and all that. Leave the Pay To completely blank.
Blank, that's all.
When I get it, I pay bills with it, like a check. And it's good because everybody knows that the U.S. Postal Money Order has that money already given to them, and you just go in and they sign their name. I give it to them blank, and they sign their ABC Corporation on it, and they take it and use it just like cash.
Well, the point is just, I mean, go ahead and just...
Because it is a money order. It's not a Federal Reserve note order. It's a money order.
Yeah, don't worry about anything else, but just put, what is it, A bar C?
No, just leave that blank. Just
send it. Just send it.
And then they have the letter where they send it, and then they rip off the back.
The carbon, they take it for themselves.
And keep the carbon and there.
As proof.
And as proof. And if for ever some reason it gets lost, they go back and they hid this, and in 3 months they cut them their check for whatever they sent.
Right. No, we've done this all the time. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, Randy, don't worry about it. I mean, send it just as he said. And if there's a problem, he'll make it right. We'll make it right. No doubt about it.
Yeah. But it has to be a U.S. Postal Money Order. It can't be like Lower Podunk Post Office or 7-Eleven or some of these other weird stuff that I get from, Western Union and all that, we just can't deal with it.
That's okay.
A couple times I had to send it back.
Well, you haven't got a Canadian money order, which is the best of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
At any rate, thanks for being with us. Happy holidays without a doubt.
Okay.
And we'll talk again soon. But, I mean, we want this thing to be a primer to a certain extent. So thanks a lot, I-Man, for coming on.
Okay, and thank you for having me.
All right, listen, and you and yours and everybody else out there, really, to this holiday season, no matter how you celebrate it, hey, let it be healthy and let it be safe.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
See you later, bro.
All right.
Bye-bye.